guys. I need to have like a little support talk before we get into the gossip on this. This is a good video. You're going to like it. So first, I want to say that if you like the channel, please support it by buying a shirt. There's a link in the description here. I have two Did You Know 25,000 shirts, which you should really like. They were done by two different artists. And then I have a shirt that is Nosy, see you next Tuesday, which PK inspired me because he called me that several times. Nosy, see you next Tuesday. So you could join the Nosy, see you next Tuesday club because you like gossip like me. And that would be great because those shirts, the money goes to helping support the channel and me and my son. Oh, by the way, I also have a I drink a lot and I F a lot shirt, which is a shout out to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 3 when I lose my shit. So you could buy that shirt. So I have a Patreon. It's in the description and it's like my Reddit, okay? Every week, I do a podcast, which is like a gossip show, and that is included. You pay $6, you get the podcast show, and then I do a long confessional video, which is a deep dive of a subject matter each week, where I look for like the hardest to find like receipts or pictures or videos, and I compile it into this really cool like presentation to you, and I cut through the crap like I always do and go right for the juicy stuff. But you'll be an expert on like so many different topics. And I try to choose ones that are really entertaining. So that's $6 a month. And that also supports this YouTube channel. So please join. It's so fun. I do posts and everything. And then if you love audio and less video, then you could join the bonus audio, which is the Diamond members. And that's $10.99 a month. I just had to remind you guys because it's the lifeline. Those things really are the lifeline to the YouTube channel. The advertising isn't. I mean, it's a subsidy, but it's not even close to what the Patreon does and the shirts do for the channel. Just saying. Okay, so really, if you run into a Patreon, thank them. Ask them about what it's like, because there's a lot on here. And thank them, because if you can't afford, let's say, to do the Patreon, they're doing it, and that allows me to do this channel. So anyway, that's my PSA. Let's get into it. All right, so Lenny. Oh, so much is happening in Miami right now with Lenny and Lisa Hochstein's divorce, and I'm doing a whole, some of the stuff you'll have heard already, some of it you haven't, so let's go. I know you guys probably have already learned a lot of information about Dr. Lenny's divorce from Lisa Hochstein. So I had to really dig. I was like, what could I find? The detail that we are missing. So of course I got the petition that he filed, and I wanted to read it because sometimes the tabloids, they hit the big bullets, but they don't hit the detail. And that sometimes is fun. So here we go. So first of all, I just want to say that he filed this petition on May 20th, 2022 in Miami-Dade County. Now, Leonard Hochstein, was the petitioner and Lisa Hochstein was the respondent. You've heard the press report that the marriage was irretrievably broken and there was no way a meaningful reconciliation could occur. I'm giving you a quick review. He said that he married Lisa Hochstein and Lisa married him with the intention really of having children. So that's interesting. He basically makes it sound like that was sort of why they actually ended up getting married in 2009. He does confirm, of course, what we all know now from the tabloids, which is that there's a prenup. He puts in here some like maybe veiled threats a little bit. He says that if she does any frivolous legal actions or doesn't do what the prenuptial agreement has already stated that she agreed to, that he was going to make her pay those legal fees, 100% of them, and his. So he's basically like, either play by the rules or I'm going to charge a bunch of legal fees to you. And he picked a very expensive attorney in Miami-Dade County. So is a veiled threat there to not mess around, okay? He says that he wants Lisa and him to share the children equally and be heavily involved in their lives. Now, he calls out on several points in here that Florida law only requires the father to pay 50% of the health insurance, 50% of the schooling, and 50% of the children's medical bills with the other parent, but he is willing, it says in this petition, to pay 100% of the children's, to give them children's education, to give them, excellence in their academics, it says. He said that he's going to maintain the children on his health benefits plan, and he'll pay all related medical fees that the children have, whether they are with the mother or him. And so anyway, they call out how generous, basically, that is. He says that the prenuptial agreement is, the prenuptial agreement doesn't seem that great. They didn't file it with the petition. They said they were going to file it later. I don't know. I'm going to keep looking for it as I do this video. That's really the thing to get your hands on. But, from a gossip standpoint. She's so upset. I feel for you, Lisa. Oh my God, call me. I've been through way worse. Ugh. Watch season 3 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Oh God. I nuked my life. And my guy cheated on me and had a whole nother double life in another state that I didn't know about. Yeah. Have you heard that story? Oh, it's in the Patreon. You've got to go listen to it. Anyway, Lisa should call me. I'll make her feel better. Let's see what else we got. Oh, he's going to make sure the children have a that he has a life insurance policy that benefits the children. Oh, in 11.2, he confirms that back around April 20th, both him and his wife did agree to dissolve the marriage and get their own counsel, and he agreed to pay for her counsel just to make everything go smooth and amicably and settle things quickly. Because he wants to get the marriage dissolved as soon as possible for the best interest of their shared children. Yeah, I'm not sure your children would agree, but okay. So I guess they both got their legal representation a month ago. So then after his petition, he files this status quo temporary domestic relations order with or without minor children. And in here, it's like a reminder of what he wants to, I guess, say to Lisa is fair practices. Like, you're not allowed to relocate with the children. Child support, whatever, should be done. Child support should be done by him or her, whoever's responsibility it is. Shared parenting guidelines, like you're not supposed to, damage other people's, other people's property that might be like, I guess, at the house, for example, just because you're upset. She's got his clothes in the pool. Okay, so as I was going through the documents, I tell you, it's always so good to read the legal documents yourself. Anyway, so he files his petition on May 20th, right? And then on June 3rd, he files a motion to establish separate residences. But listen to this, because the devil is in the detail, as I always say. The husband requests, this is Leonard Hochstein, the husband requests that the court enter an order that establishes a date certain by which the wife will vacate the marital residence. Pending before the court are dissolution of marriage proceedings. In anticipation of their marriage, the parties executed a valid and enforceable prenuptial agreement in which both were represented by fine and experienced attorneys. Get this. The parties agreed, and it is set forth in their prenup agreement. It doesn't say prenup, but I'm like sick of saying the whole word. That in the event of a dissolution of marriage, the husband is entitled to retain the residence where the parties presently reside, which is titled in his sole name as his separate property, free from any claim by the wife. The parties also agreed, and it's set forth in their prenuptial agreement, that in the event either party initiates dissolution of marriage proceedings, the wife will vacate the marital home then occupied by the party within 30 days of such filing. The wife has indicated she currently does not intend to vacate the marital home. Now, some of this was reported, but not that the house was in his sole name. Like it's his house, not their house. That little detail slipped through the crack. Okay, this I'm about to read to you was super painful for me to read because the tabloids really didn't identify this as clear as it is in this legal document, and I'm going to die inside for Lisa Hochstein now. While the prenuptial agreement provides for the wife to retain certain assets and to receive significant spousal support, including temporary support, it does not contemplate that the husband is obligated to provide the wife with living accommodations. Nonetheless, the husband is offered to purchase a $3.5 million residence where the wife may reside. But get this, may reside, not buy her a $3.5 million house and give it to her. Let her stay in it for a reasonable period of time and then kick her out on her ass with no house. I'm being a little bit dramatic as I do. The other option she's got is he'll rent the wife a luxury residence for a reasonable period of time. I'd say Lisa's like, well, what the hell does a reasonable period of time mean? Because the way Dr. Lenny is driving this divorce proceeding, I mean, he could think a reasonable period of time is like, 3 months. Or 6 months, okay? Like, he's like whipping the horse through this divorce proceeding, okay? He's like, time is of the essence. I guess his 26-year-old isn't getting any younger. Okay, so then the wife, blah, blah, reasonable, okay, although the wife has her own income and assets, they make sure to call that out. What, the show? Come on. The husband is also offered to pay all of the wife's moving costs, which again is not contemplated by the prenuptial agreement, and take all steps necessary to comfortably transition the wife to a luxurious accommodation that are comfortable for her and the children. Okay, I see you, Dr. Lenny. The husband has enlisted the assistance of an excellent realtor who specializes in high-end properties. The wife will not discuss, let alone agree to a date she will move. So Lisa's like, I'm not talking about it because he's taking all the control. And there is an element of, she doesn't trust him as it is. And then on top of it, he's like, I'll tell you what, I'll get the realtor, I'll pay your moving costs, I'll run all your legal, I'll do everything. Why? Because he wants to control. Because if he controls everything, it's going to happen on his timeline and his way, the whole way through. And Lisa must be devastated. Oh God, I want to send her flowers. I feel so bad for her. I'm here, Lisa. I'm here for you. Okay, now here's the threat. This is my Miami filter. See these giant earrings? Okay. Here's the veiled threat. I love when they put these in. It's the veiled threat. The husband remains hopeful that the wife will cooperate to agree to a date certain to vacate the marital residence. The husband is also hopeful that the wife will not jeopardize the husband's present willingness to vastly exceed the terms of their prenuptial agreement by persisting in her current path of delaying the inevitable and incurring unnecessary attorney fees to accomplish the inevitable. The husband has incurred professional fees in the preparation and presentation of this motion. The wife should be responsible for her own attorney fees and the husband's attorney fees if this matter proceeds to hearing. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Dagger through the heart. Then, guess what Lisa does? She subpoenas the accounting firm for Dr. Lenny to produce documentation at a hearing to do with his accounting, I think. It's a famous accounting firm in Miami. I have a lot of insight into the legal team and stuff they're using because I lived there for a while. Okay, let's see what else is in here. I looked at the request for production. It's massive. So Lisa's, although she has a prenup, it seems that she's not going to follow the prenup. She's trying to ask for every single thing: bank accounts and records, securities and investments, debts and obligations, real property instruments, business interests, insurance, charitable contributions, pension and retirement benefits, personal property, vacations, trusts and estates, miscellaneous. So maybe, I don't know, she's trying to establish things maybe outside of the prenuptial agreement that weren't documented in that contract that she could have claim on. It's possible, or I don't know. I mean, it does give me the sense maybe that the prenup isn't ironclad, you know? Yeah. So Lisa files an interrogatory request, which is basically formal questions that you send to people to answer in for a court proceeding. And she says she's sending questions to her husband. But she also mentions a guy who is like one of the head of real estates for Aria in Miami. And I'm like, I wonder why she has questions for him. Oh my God, I just know this is so juicy. And I laughed because Dr. Lenny's response was to serve her with a notice of service of standard family law interrogatories, which is basically a standardized request for your background, education, employment, assets, liabilities, miscellaneous. Or do you want to do a long form affidavit if you have a lot more assets and stuff? So I don't know. I kind of feel like Lisa's she's going to she's putting him to work. He's trying to do everything basic and rely on the prenup. And she's trying to say, oh no, we're going, I want to see all your accounting. I'm subpoenaing your accounting firm. I want to talk to a realtor. I'm really wondering, what do you guys think that's about? I'm sorry, Lisa, I am in your shit, but I'm just too bored. What can I tell you? Well, I know the tabloids have said that Lisa has some sort of understanding with Dr. Lenny that she can stay in the house for now with the children and he's not being as aggressive about moving her out, but I don't see any sign of that really in the legal filings. But I also don't see her agreeing to a date to leave either. And they never filed the prenuptial agreement, although they said they were going to add it to the docket. Anyway, I don't trust Dr. Lenny as far as I can throw him. And Lisa Hochstein said, I have a lot to say she said, I'll have a lot to say soon about Dr. Lenny and the divorce, I guess. So she's kind of dangling that carrot. She hasn't really, she's only been posting pictures of her and the kids and looking hot, basically. Katerina Mazepa has been posting her usual hot chick pictures all over her Instagram. You guys, do you know about her? She was married before. Anyway, she wrote this, I can be a handful sometimes. And she was hot. And then Dr. Lenny did 3 flames on her Insta. And then she posted a pirate symbol and a kiss. And I'm just could these two be any cheesier? I'm sorry, but I'm never going to be on this team. Never. All right, so she was married to a guy named Shiloh Mazepa, and they lived in Spoleto, Italy. He's a U.S. diplomat. And then the couple moved to Washington, D.C., and in 2021, Katerina filed for divorce, and the two are now separated. She was Austrian, and she also was Miss Vienna. But I got the feeling somehow he got her to the U.S., and it didn't last much longer. Well, I did study her Instagram before. I'll just give you a brief. But basically, she has 1.7 million followers. And since she started going out with Dr. Lenny, it's gone up a few 100,000 people. So it's only helped her. She talks really strange. Let me just play how she talks. And I don't mean an accent, okay? We're not talking about Dorit.
One day, guys, this is important. I don't have another account. This is my only account, and since many months now I have this problem that there's just so many accounts trying to steal my identity, using all my pictures, my name, my maiden name.
Just showing their butt, probably.
One. I'd have to say...
What's your
maybe
perfect
April
date?
25th. It's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket.
Okay, she says she doesn't ever do any plastic surgery, no Botox or filler. I believe it. She's 26. I mean, anyway, you see how she talks. Her favorite date, I thought they were talking about like where she wanted to go to dinner. But what she's talking about is her favorite date. Like she picked a real date. Like I can't tell, is she really just a dingbat or is she just putting an act on? Anyway, look at her profile picture. I have to share it. No wonder people are duplicating her account. All they had to do was put their ass on a picture. And then they were like, oh, it's her. Sorry, had to. I have to drag this girl. Have to. She's very, very, very beautiful. And it has apparently given her huge shortcuts in life. I just hope karma exists, guys. I really hope karma exists. Please let it exist. Anyway, just to be clear, she's never done any really big campaigns that I could see. I mean, she's definitely modeled and she's a beautiful model, but it's not like she had guests on her thing and it wasn't like a real guest ad. I don't totally get what's happening here, but I would imagine that Dr. Lenny will start buying her opportunities left and right. So, but maybe the karma here is that she's going to take Dr. Lenny to the cleaners. Maybe that's what's going to happen because he's so whipped. He might just not sign a prenup and marry her and have her take everything and leave him an old, lonely man. The boob god. Lonely boob god man. All right, on that note, I'm going to wrap up this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my different take on the divorce of Lisa and Leonard Hochstein. And I really, really hope there is gossip in the page of Dr. Lenny. And so you might enjoy that, especially right now because he's a villain at the moment. And yeah, please, I'm going to follow Lisa. I don't follow many people, but I'm going to follow her because she needs support right now. And I stand by women who have been betrayed in the same way I was because I know how devastating it is. And anyway, I just hope that Dr. Lenny is, 100 times more honorable than my ex because I'm still waiting to see $1 of child support. All right, guys, I'll see you later.